what is the thing that's on your desk right now that you're most excited about?
Well, what we've, the malaria we already talked about. Gene therapy we didn't touch on, but gene therapy has come back from the dead. It got a little, there was a little premature action over a decade ago, where it wasn't mature and ready, and so.
Can you explain it for us?
So gene therapy is ranges from fixing the rare diseases that we talked about that have a genetic component, essentially by reversing them, by putting in a copy of the gene that's missing from.
Tay-Sachs.
Right. So in principle, you could, if you get it at the right stage in development, you can reverse things that cause blindness, that cause blood disorders, and so forth. And that can be either you put in a gene that covers for a missing gene, or you can fix a gene that's part of a process that could be fairly normal version of that gene or some hyperactive version of that gene, and there you want to take it out. So rather than put it in, you want to take it out. But those are the two kind of forms of gene therapy, knock-ins and knockouts. And they suddenly are working again, right? I mean, so the early days, we just didn't have the technology. It wasn't really ready for clinical practice. But now there are about 2,000 clinical trials using gene therapy in phase 1, 2, and 3, and some are already being approved. So, for example, Glybera was approved in Europe for pancreatitis, lipid disorder. So what you're seeing is great tolerance for genetic engineering for making drugs like erythropoietin and insulin and growth hormone, and even genetically modified humans in an environment where genetically modified foods are not approved, but all these things that impact health are. So I think that gene therapy could impact almost every aspect of health. It sounds like, it's not just about rare diseases. Almost everything that happens to us has something to do with our gene-environment interactions. So our lab has been among the relatively few academic labs that have developed new technologies for reading and writing DNA. And once you can read and write DNA, then you can read and write cells, organs, and whole living organisms. And so the machines look like desktop 3D printers, or they look computers, or they look like a machine that does something, not just displays something. A lot of things moving around. They don't look like robots. They look more like printers. But that's this machine you can see. And then inside of it are lots of machines you can't see, nanomachines that we've harvested from nature and changed, and they help us build this biology we want to build. So in a way, it's kind of recursive or self-referential, is we build nanomachines with these macro machines, these sort of life-size, hand-size machines, and then the nanomachines make other nanomachines, and by nanomachines I mean biological machines on the nanometer scale.